So now I want us to talk about ticketing and how you can create the different tickets, priorities, and how you can create a ticket. So a client can create a ticket by us giving them a form to fill. A client can create a ticket by us configuring an email for the client to send an email, and the email creates a ticket, or we can create a ticket on behalf of the client. So the first thing when we want to do set up our ticketing system is to look at the setup, and then we look at support. So from support, the first thing we do, one, is to create the different departments within the organization. So we have different departments. We have a department we can say we call department is support. Department, we can say the email for support department is support@IXLCORE.com, and then do the setting up for IXLCORE.com. This is same as the email. Then it's mail.IXLCORE.com. Password is put in the password. You can say it's SSL or TLS. We can use TLS. And then it can retrieve folders, meaning it has to go and look for the email because the configuration is not right, therefore, but it will bring inbox here so that we are able to test the connection, meaning if I test the connection right now, it will say the connection is not correct because probably my password is not okay. Therefore, once we've done that, we submit. So we have a department which is support. So this email, we've set it up such that when client sends anything to do with a support issue, it will create a ticket under support. We can have a new department which will deal with sales. Then you create a sales department and say we have a sales department, and then you submit that. But you can also configure the emails for sales at IXLCORE so that when a client sends an email to sales, it goes to create a ticket under sales. We have sales, we have support, we can have admin or any other department that you need to create. Once you've created departments, you can have predefined replies. Predefined replies are those replies that you've already set up on the system. You don't need to be repeating these replies again. The system, like for instance, the first one can be welcome, a predefined, and say thank you for reaching out to IXL. Our support team will reach out shortly. Regards, awesome host, IXLCORE. And then you submit. So that means we don't need, every time there's a client that comes in, I do not need to reset up different messages. I just have a predefined already. And we can create as many predefined responses as we want to have in our system. While we are still in support, then we can create the priorities. What are the different priorities of the tickets? It comes already with the low, medium, and high. If we need to set any other priority within our business, we can set up that priority. Then we have ticket status. What is the status of the ticket? We can have one that is open. We have a status of in progress. It has been answered, it's on hold, or it's closed. If there's another status, depending on the organization, you can add an additional status of that. And then we talk about service. Depending on the services that we have, the agreements we have with the client, we can create those services for the client to have. Because we pick this information through emails, we can put in spam filters, one, to block different kind of senders, so that if you're not a client in the system, we cannot allow you to send us a support ticket. Maybe you can only send to sales, or you can only send to info. But when it comes to support, it blocks any person that sends any subject or phrases that we see on the email. We can block and say if it's a phrase doing with sales, we block it to go to sales, or a subject that client has written to us, we can. So once we've created that support now, we're able to go back and see how the client can raise, or how we can raise a ticket on behalf of the client. Again, we go back to the customer. Remember, we cannot create a ticket or deal with the system if it is not a lead or a customer. So when you go to ABC, I can view, or I can go to ABC Company Limited, and on the company, we have support tickets here. So I can go to support tickets and come say, now, since I'm on this client, I can create a new ticket. A new ticket, it will be creating a ticket on behalf of either the existing clients or the contacts in the system. So I'm creating it on behalf of the main contact, and then I pick that email of the main contact person on the organization. What is the subject of this ticket? I cannot log in, or I cannot seem to log in to my system. The department of that ticket is support. You can CC, or you can CC an email there, or it will go to support. Who am I assigning this ticket? The person that deals with support for client is Mr. Lewis Maingi, and I can set up the different teams and say, for this ticket, Mr. Maingi deals with that ticket. However, default is always the current user on that. And then support department. Now, the ticket body is here. I can add the predefined help, or I can add a knowledge link, insert the knowledge link, or I can create and say, or whatever issue the client has and you're assigning that ticket, please assist the client. And then you attach, if there's any documentation the client has sent, you can attach on their behalf and open that ticket. What that happened is a support ticket is formed. A support ticket is formed. What I'm being shown here is that we can embed a ticket form. We shall create ticket forms and create them and show them how to put them on the website, so the client can come to the website and fill in a support ticket form from the website and embed a form or an email. So if you look at the tickets Kanban here, we have a ticket Kanban view. We will see we have a ticket that is open of a client who cannot log in. So if I'm the one working on the ticket, I'm able to open the ticket and look at how to respond to the client. If I want to respond to the client, I can use a predefined message that we set earlier and say, the client is welcome, and you can see, thank you for reaching out, and the team will reach out to you with an answer. Though the client knows, and then I change the status and say, it goes to answered, because I've answered that client. I have not completed the client, I've not sorted the client out, but I've answered the client. So the client is aware somebody is already in the know of their ticket. So that goes to our answered ticket status. Priority is medium, I need to finish this. So when I come view the ticket Kanban, I can be able to see the status has gone to the answered state on that ticket until the client goes to, or we respond and finish with the client until that ticket goes to a closed status. It can go to a hold position. How does it go to a hold position? You've requested additional information from the client. So you're able to come and change the status and say it is on hold. But you can see the communication between you and the client. You've responded and say, can you send me your any desk details? When you ask for that, you say it's on hold, the status change, and then it moves to a different position of the client has now gone to an hold position. You are waiting for feedback from the client. And you're able to follow up with the client, see if the client doesn't understand what any desk is or what needs to be done. So ticket Kanban will show again the status has moved to an hold position. So this tool is good for us to be able to create customer tickets, or we can have embedding of these forms. And in our next lesson, we'll learn how to embed the forms for support on the client website. So the client can come to the website, fill in the form, and a ticket will be raised automatically. Thank you very much.